Alright, good afternoon everybody. Just back in the backyard, fiddling with some stuff. Some of you folks might remember when I picked up these boxes of electronic stuff off the side of the road. I've been meaning to get to them and get it all cut up and scrapped out. This particular item is a Hakko 936 soldering iron. I actually looked these up, and I can buy one of these locally brand new for $18. Get them on eBay for $11. And I actually kept a couple of them, and I've had them listed now for a week or so, and not too much interest in them, but I've got a bunch of them, so I'm going to scrap them out. So I'm going to have a look to see what's in it, what's worth some money. First thing I'm going to do is start cutting them cords. Yep, into the tin shred, bucket of insulated, cut, into the insulated. Let's tear this thing apart. There we go. So basically we got some wire, little circuit board, and a little bitty, it looks like a sheet aluminum plate with a switch on it. All I'm going to do is snip this wire. Throw that in my tin shred. Clean my wire off. Go ahead and take this transformer. Because this looks like it is a all copper transformer. Now when I say it's an all copper transformer, I mean that all the winding inside of the transformer is copper. Because a lot of transformers, actually half of the winding is aluminum and half of it's copper. This one will be all copper, so I can actually get 15 cents a pound for these. The ones that are actually half copper and half aluminum, that basically just goes right into the tin shred pile. And my scrapyard will not pay any extra for those. I guess I could just take that screw out, huh? And the garbage. Alright, well, that's it on those, so let me get the rest of these taken apart, and then we'll move on to something different. Because there's all kinds of goodies in here. Alright, so I got all those done. Moving on to the next thing. These are actually the stands that the soldering iron, the actual handheld part, would set in. And I put these little sponges here to help cool the tip, what have you. But they are cast aluminum. They just got a little steel plate here on the back. Pop that off. Tin shred. The only other thing that I see that I have to do is these little rubber stoppers here have to come off, because my scrapyard is very adamant about clean metal being just that, clean metal. So, a nice little piece of cast aluminum. Alright, let me get the rest of these done, and then we'll move on to the rest of this junk in this bucket. Alright, so I'm done with all the soldering irons and the holders. Got all those in a nice bucket over here. My number 2 insulated copper and my copper transformers. Now basically what's left in this particular bucket is all of these heat sinks. There's a couple different types in here, which I went ahead and grabbed a few. This is the most valuable to me at my scrapyard because this is all extruded aluminum, these different styles, and most of it's all clean. A lot of it looks like it's brand new, you know. Somebody who does electronics, I'm sure, would love to have all this stuff. It's all right. The scrapyard will pay good for it. So, and there's a lot of these little ones like this, which there's a bunch of these in there, which these are all sheet aluminum and actually clean up really well because these little inserts here, in order to bolt them down, are steel, but they just pop right out and then clean. And I even got some little cast aluminum heat sinks. So yeah, a bunch of aluminum anyway. All I gotta do is get all these things pulled apart, because like I say, there's a lot of these that have the little inserts in them, you know, so they can be screwed down to the circuit board. And there's little odd and end ones like this that have the little metal ends on. All these little metal ends have to come off. Usually they just pop off of these things, you know. So let me get all this done, and then we'll move on to what's left in the rest of the other boxes over there. All right, so I got all those cleaned up. So I got a bucket of a clean sheet of aluminum, and I got a few pieces of extruded aluminum, all from that heat sink. And I'm gonna move on to this next box. Now, I have a few of these fans. There actually was a third box that was full of these little cooling fans. Now, the scrapyard that I go to will not buy this fan as an electric motor because it is a fan. It has an electric motor in it, but it is a fan. So all I'm gonna do, tin tread. Let's see, what else is tin tread in here? Some kind of hole punch thing. I have no idea. Tin tread. And this thing. This is some kind of regulator to adjust gas flow for while you're soldering different items, especially in electronics. I have no idea if it works. I really don't care if it works, because I'm going to tear it apart. Because I'm curious of what's inside this thing. Okay, well, I got all that taken apart. Got it broke down. Got me a nice little collection of brass fittings here. Little number 2 wire. Another copper transformer to go in the bucket. And I'm just going to throw all this, well, except for that fell on the ground. And the rest of this is just going to go into my tin tread pile. You know, that's actually a piece of aluminum, but I'm not going to tear it all the way down. Tin tread. So, what are we moving on to? Oh, all these big copper windings. Now I'm left with these pretty copper windings. Now, I don't know if these are used as resistors or what. I really don't know. All I know is it's copper. So, let me take these apart. And we'll start with this one only because it actually has screws. Oh, that is some good stuff. And that is some really nice copper. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is basically all I'm left with are these copper windings. Yes, nice big copper windings, and they're anchored in, I don't know, some kind of resin or epoxy or what is in there. All I know is I took one of these and I put it on a concrete cinder block and smacked it with a hammer, and all it did was break the cinder block. So that's not going to come out that way. I believe my best bet is going to take the grinder and actually try to cut it off as close as possible to where it's anchored into the resin, because all this will go as number 2 copper, because of course it is coated. You know, it's not pure uncoated copper. I mean, you notice this one's got the pretty red color. This one I don't have to do anything at all to. It just goes into the bucket. But yes, it's got a coating on it. The copper's underneath. But I think my best bet is to use the grinder. So let's give it a go and see what happens. Oh, that's a nice chunk. Oh, but look at all that copper left in there. Oh. That is heartbreaking. Okay, well, trial and error. This way actually seems to work the best for me. If I can pull the center out. All right, so there it is. A bucket of all number 2 copper. What a mess. And this is what I'm left with. Oh, look at that. Copper. Copper. It's like scrap metal paperweights. I'm not throwing those out yet. I might dig on those some more. But that means I finished up the 2 boxes of all the goodies I got, though. Got some tin shreds, some copper, and of course I done put away all the aluminum I got and the cast aluminum. So that's going to do it for me, though, folks. Just trying to get some stuff done in the backyard. Looks like it's going to start to rain here a little bit, so I think I'm going to pack it in. So that's going to do it for me. So until next time.